Welcome to NextGen You. My name is Jon Kovach Jr., motivational speaker, accountability coach, and serial entrepreneur. Each week, we bring you an inspiring message to help you become next gen in every area of your life. Thanks for joining the community of achievers and accepting the role as our world's NextGenners. Enjoy this episode's content. Coming to you from the Wasatch back of Silicon Slopes. Hey, I'm glad you're here today, and I'm glad you're listening to this podcast. As a NextGenner, let me teach you a little bit about leadership. This episode, I'm going to be sharing with you some content that I recorded from a presentation I gave to a very, very small group at the LDS Business College in Salt Lake City, Utah, where I came in to train a group of students on leadership, but they had asked me to teach the principle of navigational leadership, which is something that I had touched on in several of my blogs and just in passing and in some of my interviews, and they were fascinated by the topic, and it worked out well because this was a religious group of students, and we shared some religious similarities. So I took the time to research and create a presentation that was specific and focused on creating solutions for their lives and for their leadership business, or for their leadership groups. So without any further ado, I hope you enjoy the message and listen a little bit to some of the principles. I'll be providing some of the resources that I share in this presentation in the show notes, and as well as they will be available online for you to engage in. I think that the questions asked are very, very interesting and should help you gain some clarity on how to run your teams, on how to influence your friends, or even just to be a better person at home as a member of the family. So anyways, without any further ado, here is my speech given to the LDS Business College. It's very rare that I actually get to speak in small groups like this. I usually travel the country and speak to groups probably 100, 200, 400 people, a lot of professionals, and this is exciting. I rarely get to stand in a group this small and to get as really intimate as we will today. I'm super, super pumped about our topic because Jake asked me what we would like to talk about about leadership, and I started developing this idea of navigational leadership, what a navigator or a navigational leader will do, and what that even means. And when you guys asked for that article in advance, I was actually in the process of writing my own article. And in that article, I've learned a lot about what it takes to become a leader. And there's so many things about leadership that I think we can all learn from. But to save my ability to not give something to you a little bit premature, I picked another article. And it sounds like if you read that article prior to this meeting, that you read an article by a really cool evangelist, somebody who I actually have looked into a little bit more, and a Christian speaker of sorts. And that person had some really interesting things to say about navigational leadership. And so I want to dive into that. I want to talk about a few other things. I want to tell you a little bit about my story and who I am. But really, I'm, as Jake mentioned, I'm a coach. I'm here to coach. But most importantly, because this is such a small group, I get to learn from you guys. So you're going to actually teach me. Is that okay? Okay, I don't know anything more than all of you combined. All of us have enough knowledge and enough information in our brains that we could actually do some great things. We could move mountains together. And I want to be able to get there. So a few things that wasn't mentioned prior. I am a master facilitator in mastermind participation. So I take corporations, I take business leaders, presidents, CEOs, I put them in a room, I sit them around small tables like this, and then we talk about the things that they're working on in their business. We talk about their goals, we talk about their challenges, and then together we talk about how we can help each other achieve a certain goal or overcome a challenge. And we send them away. We hold them accountable. We bring them back, and we say, hey, did you do what you said you're going to do? And then we move forward. And that's what I'm trained in doing, mastermind facilitation. But I wanted to talk to you today about several topics. Now, some of the things that I like to do is be very, very, very interactive. So if this is a little uncomfortable for you, that's going to...
It will not be uncomfortable.
Good. All right. I'm excited. And I'm doing several recordings because the biggest mistake I made early on in my career in public speaking is I lacked the content. I didn't record myself, or I didn't take opportunities to take pictures and just take segments of what I'm doing. So that's why I'm holding a recorder. That's why my computer's on. Feel free to do whatever you feel is necessary. But one of the most important things is I realized that this device that we have, though hailed by many as an evil device because it has so much power, it does have so much power, and if you can wield it in the right ways, like capturing little snippets of yourself or promoting yourself as a professional, that's a really great principle. So to start, I want to set some expectations. Now, this isn't a me speak and you listen type deal. This is an interactive experience. When most public speakers get up in front of you, they're told that they need to engage with their audience. And the way that they engage with their audience is they think that if I can get you to raise your hand to agree with me on something, or if I can get you to say yes, or be part of the engagement, that is the way how you engage with your audience. Now, I'm going to challenge that because I'm a millennial, dang it, and millennials are good at disrupting the industry, right? And I didn't invent it. Okay, this is a real thing. Someone actually stole it. Okay, I'll be honest. I stole it from somebody else. But what I like to do in my demonstrations is something called a power clap. Now, a power clap is one clap at the count of 3 all together. So let's give it a try. Power clap with me on 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, wow, that was pretty good. Okay, so we're going to do some power claps. So power clap with me if you've ever had a dream. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Power clap with me if you've ever set a goal. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Now, I use the power clap because it gives you a split-second decision to participate or not. Now, I don't ask questions that single anyone out. But let's say I did. Let's say I asked a question and you were the only person who clapped. Then what we're going to do is we're going to stop everything and we're going to talk to that person because they need to be heard at that moment. If they're the only person that clapped, there's something that needs to be heard. So I do the power clap because it gives you a split-second decision to make something work in your brain that says, I either resonate with that or I don't. Okay? And you don't have to make yourself known. It's nice and quiet. It's not quiet. It's nice and personal, so you don't have to reveal yourself to the world. And I like doing that because a power clap, how many of you still feel the hand buzzing from your clap? Okay? It sticks with you. It sticks with you a little bit longer than this. So I'm going to ask you to power clap throughout this presentation. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. A lot of preparation. Before we get into navigational leadership, I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. I started my first business when I was 12 years old. My mom was kind enough to go to the store and build buy a bunch of cardboard boxes. And I turned those boxes into this little tray that I then went to the store, picked out a bunch of chips and candy and stuff like that, and we put a bunch of that into an organized fashion, delivered those boxes to corporate offices, and we used it as a vending machine. I had a little can in the corner that said 50 cents. Now, I didn't always get to use accountability to help me track how much money I was making or losing, so I did lose a lot of money. But I also gained a lot of weight because I love that business. Anytime anything went expired, I was able to eat it, right? But that was fun. At 14, I started mowing lawns. How many of you have mowed lawns before? Power clap with me if you've mowed a lawn. 1, 2, 3. Okay, awesome. There's a few of you that haven't, and that's okay. I started mowing lawns, could make like $400 or $500 in a weekend. That was fun. And then at age 16, I was sick and tired of how school dances and church dances were being run. And I hated going to weddings because they just played the worst music. So I asked my parents if I could use a little bit of my birthday money to go out and buy some speakers and an AV receiver. How many of you know what an AV receiver is? Okay, nobody. Awesome. You probably do. It's a little power box that used to plug into your VCRs if you wanted to have more sound coming from your speakers surrounding your TV. So I put that together and I made my own DJ stuff. I plugged my iPod in and I'd go and I'd say I was a DJ. I started DJing dances, school dances, proms. I started doing weddings. I even did an 80-year-old's birthday party because they trusted that I could do the research and learn which music they wanted to have played at their party. And in this experience, I learned a lot about myself. In this experience, I decided that I wasn't really the best DJ, though I could create an environment, though I could pick decent music. What I was actually doing was orchestrating an environment for success. I was creating something that people could experience and enjoy. But what I found out about myself is that I actually enjoyed being behind the microphone more. I like being the MC, jumping out on the dance floor and making people dance. How many of you, power clap with me if you want to dance today? 1, 2, 3. Okay. No one wants to dance. Cool. All right, we'll dance later. Thank you for wanting to dance. We can dance later. And that was a great experience for me because I realized that it wasn't DJing that was my talent and passion. It was creating an experience. It was getting behind the microphone and allowing people to learn and just let loose and enjoy themselves. And that's what I like to do as a coach and a speaker. I like to let you let loose to enjoy. Now we have to get our brains to a mindset first before we do any of that. And the reason why I do the power clap, because it makes you make split-second decisions so that you can get your mindset to a place where you can say, I'm either in or I'm out. Now, by the way you're dressed, by the way you're looking at me, by the way you're positioned, by the way you're sitting, by the way you're taking notes, I've already discerned how many of you have came prepared for today. And that's okay. It's good. I understand. But I will say that I actually attended your the leadership conference. How many of you met me while we were there? A few of you? Okay, there's that hand raised. Thank you. So a few of you remember. I was actually participating, and I walked around as a student and learned from you, and I was very, very, very impressed at what I saw and what I learned. It was incredible. There was some very, very experiential leadership discussions, and it actually got me thinking and made me change a little bit about what I thought about navigational leadership. It made me think about what it takes to move groups and make process happen in a progressive way. So you actually changed my opinions, which is why I didn't give you an article written by me. I gave you an article written by someone else. If I could have you, I know that you wrote these, and I think this is incredible, and I'm so grateful that you do it, and I suggest you follow that because that's what was prepared for you. But if you could, on your paper, write 3 questions down. And the first question is, how do I steward? Steward, S-T-E-W-A-R-D, steward. How do I steward? Okay, how do I steward? Give yourself a few lines in between that. The next question I want you to write down is, why must I steward? Why must I steward? Okay, give yourself a little space after that. Why must I steward? And then the last question I want you to write is, what am I a steward of? What am I a steward of? Now, I chose this word because it has to do with navigation. I kept thinking navigate, okay, flying an airplane, leading a ship, but actually what I kept coming up with was the most relative word to navigation was stewardship. And in our faith, we're familiar with this term, aren't we? Stewardship. When I think of a steward, I think of a shepherd. Power clap with me if you also think of a shepherd. 1, 2, 3. Okay, a few of you. Excellent. Can anyone tell me what they think of when they think of a steward? Yeah, what's up?
I think of a stewardess.
Yeah.
Somebody that's put in charge to, put in charge to, what's the right context? What's their job? A steward.
No, I think you're onto something. A stewardess has a role.
Yeah.
And that role, if completed, makes everything else function around them. Is that what you were kind of leaning towards?
Yeah.
I love that. Everybody has a role. We're going to build off of that. What was your name?
John.
John, nice to meet you. J-O-H-N?
J-O-N.
Oh, yeah, that's how you spell it.
It is.
That's awesome. Steward, you have a role, okay? You're not alone in this role. but you have a responsibility. And as a steward, you create an experience around you that allows everyone else to function. So as we talk today and as I coach you a little bit, I'm actually going to give you a bunch of resources, and I'll give it all to you so that way you have it. But the reason why I want to give you these resources is because I think today you might walk away different. And the only reason why is not because I spoke to you or because I coached you or worked on anything. It's because you made a decision to walk away a little bit different today than you did before. So if you're excited to do that, power clap with me on 3. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. So as you learn a little bit today, jot down some answers, jot down your feelings and your thoughts to those 3 questions. Okay? How can I steward? Why must I steward? And what am I a steward of? Okay. I often think of the principle of a shepherd who leads the flock. And I sometimes dive deep into too many details, and that's what probably leads me astray, but it leads me down a path to start thinking in depth. And I actually wrote this in the article that I'll share with you later, but the process of a shepherd actually has many roles, okay? A shepherd typically has someone with them or, let's say, a companion, whether that be in the form of a trained animal like a dog or something that they can use to herd their flocks. They also might have an assistant or someone who's there as well to watch over the flock so that they can take shifts and sleep and watch as well. But I thought about this and I thought, okay, the shepherd is a steward, and that's kind of what I have in my brain, but there are other stewards out amongst the flock. How many of you can name what some of the other stewards might be? Anybody? Who are the other stewards of a flock? They're present, they're there. Who are the other stewards? What did you say? The flock, okay. The members of the flock. Why?
I think just like in this class, like we're a flock, and we have a leader, but we also have to help each other out and reach out to one another, if that makes sense.
I love that. He is your leader, but are you not a leader too?
Yes.
You are.
We all
You are all leaders. And how do you make this group progress? How do you lead this group to safety? Yeah.
I'd say by showing them the way that you know is safe, the way that you know to do something. You show them your talents, they'll show you yours.
By sharing what you have, by sharing your knowledge and everything that you bring to the table. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. What was your name again? Zoe and Nick. Thank you. You are the stewards of this flock. Now, when a shepherd is watching over his sheep, is it something we overlook to think that the sheep aren't trained? That they don't have their own strengths? That each individual sheep, who in biblical terms is representative of us, those sheep have personalities, they have strengths, they have weaknesses, they have the ability to follow or to disobey. Now, I thought about this the other day. To prepare for this, I actually started watching sheep herding videos. Who Googles sheep herding videos? Well, I live up in Heber, so we actually have the sheep herder competition every fall, so that's a fun one to watch. But I started watching these videos, and I noticed that as the herd gathers together in movement, where do you think the baby sheep, the little kids, go? They're pushed to the middle. Why? Because they're not strong enough. They're not as well versed in the travel experience that they are navigating as they're being told what to do. Who takes the front, though? Who do you think? Older, more experienced, maybe even those who have done it once or twice. But I will tell you, I watched this video, and I started, in fact, which group did the video of the guys dancing, and then they asked if they saw the bear? Was that another? It was you guys? Okay, I remember that. Oh, you're spread out. Okay, awesome. Well, it was interesting because you guys made me think, okay, well, I'm going to watch this sheep right here. And I watched the sheep at the front. And then about, I'm embarrassed to say this out loud, about 15 minutes later of watching these sheep go in, I noticed that sheep in the front had moved to the back. He wasn't at the front the whole time. So I thought, what is the role of that sheep? What do you think? Yeah.
It could be like a really strong one because, like, for example, like if people are trekking, pioneers, whatever.
Okay.
Like if you have really fast people in the front, like they're gonna naturally be in the front, and the slow are gonna be in the back. But like to all move together, the strong ones have to be behind to push everyone forward.
I like that. I actually didn't think of that. So that's really neat. Yeah, please.
It's like it kind of shows leadership, being able to lead, but also being able to follow.
I like that too. Anyone else? Yeah, please.
I think too, you can have different roles at different times. So maybe at the beginning he had to get everybody moving, show them where to go, and then later he was at the back making sure there's nobody left behind.
I love that. That is so cool. Have you ever played the game Toxic Sludge? All right, it's a leadership game that we play in a lot of leadership scenarios. But essentially, you're given 2 ropes that are 10 feet long. There is a box that you cannot cross over. You can't even put your hand over it. And then in the middle, there's an empty bucket, and then there's a full bucket. The full bucket is full of beans, okay? And Toxic Sludge is the game where the beans are the toxic sludge, and if the sludge spills, then humanity will cease to exist. Okay, so there's a little bit of pressure. And as a team, you've got to figure out how to use the ropes to pour the sludge into a container, which is the empty bucket, and you work together. Now, I remember my first time playing Toxic Sludge. As a leader, I usually felt compelled to jump in and say, all right, I'm in charge here. Let's grab the ropes. Let's try to create some arms out of them, and let's pick it up and try to pour it in. And as I started orchestrating people, I naturally would. I had so much trouble communicating, and I had so much trouble trying to make this thing work. And you know what was embarrassing even more is I was doing it all on my own. I thought, okay, let's get this done. We got a time limit. We've got 20 minutes to pour those beans into that empty container. And then I realized I was doing it wrong. I was trying to tell people what to do. I was trying to be that leader because I'm the outspoken person. I'm the one who's enthusiastic. I'm the one who's always trying to get things going. I think most of you in this room can relate. Some of you have been put into groups or to scenarios, into teams that you don't really know, and then you know that you have to take the responsibility. So there's some reluctance there. And then you're like, okay, it's time. I need to step forward and take my role. And I'm embarrassed by that because everybody is a steward. Everybody has a role. And if you are a steward, if you have a role, don't sit back and wait for other people to take a stand. Don't sit back and wait for the more enthusiastic or the more outspoken leaders to take action, because you're enabling them to fail as a group. The silent leaders, those people who typically don't take the first step forward, are the ones leading our group to failure. And that's unfortunate because we all have a role. This herd that we need to take to safety or to keep together is reliant on ourselves. So in this game, I realized that all my shouting out of ideas and thoughts wasn't working. So then I decided, okay, I'm not the leader here. And I started asking individuals. I said, hey, this is my question for you. What are your strengths in this activity? And they would say, well, I'm really good at I'm really good at my hands. I think I'd be able to wield the ropes and use it as a tool to pick up the buckets. Great. All right, that's what you're going to do. And then I asked you, what's your strength in this activity? And they said, well, actually, I'm not really good at my hands, but I'm a good cheerleader. I'm really good at encouraging people. And I said, great. Okay, I need you. We're going to come over here. We're going to start a cheerleading line, and we're going to encourage those who know what they're doing. And I said, hey, what's your strength in this activity? And they said, honestly, I'm a really good communicator. I'm clear, I'm succinct, and I'm straight to the point. It's like, we need you at the front of the line telling everyone what to do. So I started asking people what their strengths were and if they could use those strengths to help the group succeed. And according to this game, we actually were able to, despite the 5 minutes that we lost of me trying to figure things out and being that person that would step forward, within the next 5 minutes, we set the record to how fast we could orchestrate that game and finish it. In another 5 minutes, it was done. Okay? I was actually stepped back. I joined this group over here, the cheerleaders, and I said, you guys got it. You got it. Oh, hey, just be careful. I started cheering with all the other cheerleaders, and then let the communicators communicate, and then I'll let the people who were good at their hands and the ones who were strong and the ones who knew what they were doing, I let them do their thing. So everybody had a role in this game. And we're not going to play that game today. I didn't bring a bucket, nor did I bring my toxic sludge. Okay, but I wanted to share with you that you all have a role, that you all have something to experience, to add to the table. Now, the best kind of leaders are the ones who show up, and whether they're prepared or not, they say, look, this is the task. I will say that today I'm unprepared to be the best person in this room to lead this group, but I will say I'll give it all I got. Okay? That's typically the person who is the one sitting in the corner, or that's the outspoken leader. Okay? The best leaders don't wait to be told what to do, or they don't let other people step in front of them. They orchestrate and they, listen to this word, they create. I like the word orchestrate. I think of a conductor in front of a symphony, and they're with their little wand, and they're telling people, all right, louder, 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 and crescendo and all these things, and they build it up and then they tear it down, and then they build it up and then they have all this power and control. But really, what they're doing is they're giving direction. They're not actually playing the instruments themselves, are they? Okay. Please.
Can you restate steward or stewardship? Because I don't think I have a good grasp on it.
Okay. Does anyone else want to try? Has anyone got a good grasp of steward or stewardship? Okay. So a steward is someone who's a creator. They work with what they have to make things progress. And by doing so, they allow everyone else's strengths and roles to make a group achieve something or a goal. And I'll stop there because I want to let that imagination grow within you to learn a little bit more and maybe think about that question as we go forward. Learn what a steward is. Okay. All right, transition. Every 10 minutes, we gotta change it up. Power clap with me if you. Power clap with me if you have ever failed at something. 1, 2, 3. Power clap with me if you have ever been told you could not do something. 1, 2, 3. Power clap with me if you have a talent. 1, 2, 3. Power clap with me if you've ever been shamed for that talent. 1, 2, 3. Okay. For those of you who clapped, I'm sorry to hear that, but I am glad that you've been knocked on your back, because those who are knocked on their backs can get back up, right? If you can look up, you can get up. The reason why I wanted to change this up, because I want to get into some discussions and I want to get into some coaching. But I want you to know that as a steward, as a navigational leader, you have a role, and your role in this room is to make everything move forward together. And I want to make sure that we get there. You actually don't know how much you know. Now, a lot of you have a wealth of knowledge. Okay, I have 2 degrees. I am the president of a company. I've started 6 companies. And I actually don't have nearly as much knowledge and resources as all of you. And I know this because I've sat in the circle with some pretty incredible people who claimed that they were nobodies, and these people were absolutely somebodies. So navigational leadership isn't about being the one at the front, but it's about being the one at the front and willing to shift back to the back, just like that lead sheep. A navigational leader isn't somebody who takes command every single time, but it's someone, but it's someone who decides that they're going to be intentional with their actions, that they're going to share with their group or their team how they showed up and what they're willing to put in. Okay? An interesting thought. When you wake up in the morning, there has been a dark part of you that has been waiting up all night for that buzzer to go off or that alarm clock to go off. And what does that dark part say to you the millisecond you wake up or the second you hear that alarm go off? What does that dark part of you say? Go back to bed. What else? Shut it off. Snooze. Right?
Just 5 words.
Alarm number 5. Go back to bed. Okay? How many of you have thought, I'm too tired? The first thought of your day is, I'm tired. Or, it's cold. All right? Yeah. Or, man, I need at least 3 more hours. Okay? There's a dark part of you that's there to tempt you every single day you wake up. How unfair is that? That you wake up every day with a negative thought telling you, today's not worth it, guys. Go back to bed. Hit that snooze button. I am no master at this, but I have learned several principles that have allowed me to have control of what I do in the mornings. I used to feel pressured, and I felt like the only way I could have a successful day was if I got up, knelt in prayer, did my scripture studies, ate my breakfast, and did certain things in a 30-minute time frame, because that's what I learned on my mission. But what I realized is that what I need to do is I need to have no time frame expectation, but I need to do things in a certain order or a certain, let's call it ritual. Now, don't read too much into that word, but my ritual is not a routine. A routine is something that's time-based. A ritual is something that you can do within whatever time frame you've allotted yourself, and then that allows you success. So every morning I wake up, I roll over, I get on my knees, I pray. And then I go into the other room, and then I meditate, or I ponder. Okay? And then once I feel good, I go over to the other room, and I start to shower. And then I go to the other room, and I start to eat my breakfast, and then I head out for the day. But if I can get all these things done, doesn't matter how long, no expectation, no pressure, I just got to get these things done, I've succeeded every day. Now, how do I get out of bed? That's the other part. A gal by the name of Mel Robbins wrote a book called The 5-Second Rule. Anyone heard of it? Power clap with me if you've heard about the 5-second rule. 1, 2, 3. Okay, couple people. So the 5-second rule is this. You wake up, you hear your alarm, I count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I force myself to get up, pull off my covers, put my feet on the side of my bed, and get up. There's so much power in just being intentional about what you're trying to achieve. 5 seconds, you can do anything. 5 seconds, you can choose to be whatever you want to be and who you want to be. You can choose to make a decision. So let's translate this back over to navigational leadership. You have 5 seconds to make a decision about anything you do. You have 5 seconds to tell yourself whether you're going to participate and move and progress your group and your team, or you can sit back and wait. Let the other leaders take their role. You have 5 seconds to make a decision every day. And if you add up those 5 seconds, you might lead up to a couple minutes. Maybe a half hour, maybe an hour or more. But as you live your life and you build up those 5 seconds, I can tell you that that'll add up into days and weeks and months and years of you deciding to be intentional, for you deciding to be a leader, to move to the front of the group so that you can slowly move your way back to the group, so that the leaders can finish when they're supposed to finish. I'm fascinated by these sheep, and I'm fascinated by what they do. When given an opportunity to learn something over and over and over again because the commands are the same, you start to develop a habit, and that habit becomes a muscle, and that muscle becomes something that you do continuously, and then it becomes a strength, right? So if you continue to give yourself 5 seconds to make a intentional decision on everything you do, you will begin to live a life of transformational leadership, where you're the leader of yourself, of your flock, your herd, your family, your destiny, your life. Okay. All right, enough talking, John. I want you to experience this, and I want to train you in mastermind facilitation. I actually get to travel the country, and looking forward to traveling the world this year. And I train corporations on what we're about to do. People pay us a lot of money to do what I'm about to do, but I believe so much in this that I want you to have it. I want you to know the success behind this, and it's called a mastermind. So I read a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Anyone ever read it? Power clap with me if you've read the book. 1, 2, 3. Excellent, several people. Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. And I was reading it, and I was stuck on this phrase that people who meet often together and talk about their challenges and then result to accountability or hold each other responsible for what they want to achieve higher levels of success. This got me thinking, I need to build more groups like that. I need to get people around a table who want to achieve something, who are going to talk about their challenges and share their resources and get out there and say they're going to do something and then come back and say, I did it, and then they're going to move on. After college, I joined a corporation called Coldwell Banker Commercial Advisors. I was the public relations agent. I stewarded over a New York City office, a Los Angeles office, a Denver office, and a Phoenix office. And I did this as a intern, and then I grew my way up to a specialist and a manager. One day, I dropped my pen under my desk, and I got in my suit. I'm all comfortable. I've got my salary. I've got my benefits. I've got all this great stuff. And I got down on all fours, and I started crawling and thinking, okay, this can be a good day. I've been doing good things. I crawl down, I grab my pen, and it was this awkward little burst of air that came out, because, not a burp, I promise, but it was like, when you lift one arm up, you shift your weight over, and then the air kind of comes out of your diaphragm. Well, out of my breath came the honest words that I had never heard myself say or think, and I said, I wish I could hide under here all day. How happy was I? As soon as I said that, I put my 2 weeks notice in. I crawled out from under my desk. I said, oh, I'm unhappy. I'm not where I'm supposed to be. So I put my 2 weeks notice in, and I found a group that was doing these little things called mastermind groups. And I asked them, look, I need a job, but I know you can't pay for me right now, so can I just volunteer? So I quit my job, I quit my benefits, I quit my nice corporate job, working for one of the most influential commercial real estate agents, Brandon Fugel, here in Salt Lake City and in the Midwest, the Intermountain West. I quit all that because I knew I was unhappy. And I started working on mastermind groups. I learned mastermind facilitation. I started volunteering. A year later, I'm working for these guys. A year later from that, I'm in leadership. And a year later today, I stand before you. And I want to train you on that facilitation, because we've utilized the power of accountability so that we could achieve high levels of success. Now, some of you, and a lot of you, actually admitted to me earlier that you've been shamed for your talents. I'm going to show you how to put your talents to work. I took on a goal this year to help 10 people make $100,000. Now, $100,000 isn't that much money, but to us as students, it's probably a lot of money, okay? But I took on that challenge to train my salespeople and to give them that access because I knew it would force me to do something I have never done before, which is help 10 people do that. But I want to show you that these accountability principles combined with navigational leadership aspects can help you achieve anything you want to achieve, okay? So a mastermind is this in short, and I'll stop talking. Jake, how much time do I have? Till 10:30? Or? Okay, perfect. These groups are perfect. I might want to mix them up, but we'll get one round in and then we'll be finished. A mastermind is where each person has the opportunity to present something, a goal or a challenge that they're facing, okay? Now, for example, I am struggling at work and I need to increase my salary. I need to increase my hourly wage because I'm just not paying the bills. I have a hard time paying for food, rent, and getting back and forth from school. There might be some people in this room that really resonate with that, okay? And that's okay. But that's my goal. I need to increase my pay. I need to increase what I'm earning, but I don't need to, do something that's unethical or anything like that. So I'm going to share that with my group. I'm going to say, my challenge is this. I'm having a hard time increasing my pay. I want to be a hard worker. I want to do this. This is my goal. How do I do that? And as a group, you're going to be as selfless as possible. You're going to share as many resources as you can, any thoughts and ideas. This isn't storytelling time. This isn't like, give me a chance to talk. This is my leadership opportunity to share with you. This is, I'm going to give you some quick information, and I'm going to be selfless. Once that person feels like they have a good goal, they're going to say, I'm going to set a goal, and then they write that goal down, and then the entire group holds them accountable. They say, come back next week and do it. Okay? You're going to come back next week and you're going to achieve that goal. My goal today is to have everyone in this room achieve at least one goal in a week. At least one goal. That's what I hope to come out of this. Okay? And then when you're done, move to the next person. They're going to share their goal or challenge that they're working on. Their group's going to share. Cool. So if we were to line this out, we have one person. Okay? They're going to share challenge. Sorry for my Chinese. And then the group, okay? Yes, those are circles and triangles, not people. No, they are people. They're going to be selfless, okay? I'm going to put a timer on this. Let's see if we can get this done in 5 minutes. And if we can roll through some more people. But as you've been writing things down, as you've been taking notes, as you've been listening, there's probably things that you're thinking about. Okay? Your minds have probably drifted off somewhere. That's okay. I'm not offended, I promise. But if you are thinking about something somewhere else, that means you're facing a challenge, something in your life. That challenge might be personal. That challenge might be professional. That challenge might be school-related, scholastic. Okay? But whatever that challenge might be, whether it's in this class or it's outside or it's something that's involved in your personal life, I want you to share it. I had a guy, actually a 17-year-old come to us. We were training a group much like this, and he said, I struggle with confidence. He said, I struggle with confidence. And everyone was shocked. They said, no, you're a confident person. He said, no, I almost pee my pants every time I have to get up and talk. And so everyone in the room was so selfless. They gave him some ideas and some resources. That kid went out and he worked on some of the things that they shared with him. And he came back a week later and he said, I feel more confident. Now I want to start a business. He went from, I don't have confidence to, I think I want to start a business. I want to take on a ton of risk. Okay? And that business went on to make more money than I was making. Just in about 4 weeks. He ended up starting his own real estate he bought a drone and he started filming real estate and selling it to real estate agents. And he would edit it and so forth. But he did all that just because he started with confidence, built that goal up, achieved it, moved to the next thing, moved to the next thing. So that's something I want to work with you guys on. Okay, in the few minutes we have left, I want you to break up into, actually, can we do this? let's do an example first. Would anyone like to come and share a challenge with the group? And we'll do this together as a group. Would anyone like to come up? This is a room of vulnerability. This is a room of love and support for each other. Would anyone like to come up and share a challenge that they're facing? Anyone? Come on up. Give him a round of applause. Okay, what's your name?
I'm Carter.
Carter. Nice to meet you. So share with us what challenge you're facing right now.
Yeah, so it's my last semester, LDS Business College, and so I'm looking somewhere else to go to school, but I don't know where to go and what to study.
Okay. So you would say that your challenge is that you are unsure of where you're headed after the VC.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a great challenge. Okay. Triangles with circles on your tops. No, you stay up here. Yeah, bring your notebook. You know more than you know. You know more than you know. Without storytelling or taking too much time, how can you help Carter?
Yeah.
How can you help Carter? Yeah.
Can I just ask him a question?
Yeah, clarifying questions are helpful.
What are you doing?
Carter, can I say, just because you chose entrepreneurship doesn't mean you have to start a business. Entrepreneurship doesn't mean you build and start and create and invent, right? Entrepreneurship is also aligning yourself with people who have big dreams and big visions that you can help support. So maybe think about what you said, building a network. You may not be outside networking and going to events, but you have a room full of peers. Power clap with me if you are graduating as well this year. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Singled them out. Okay. Okay, go ahead. Hey, thanks again for listening to the NextGen You podcast. We are grateful that you are a part of our community. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and smash that subscribe or that like or that download button so that you can be up to date every time we publish an episode. We should have one coming out to you every week, so we'd hope to give you this content. Thanks again for being a part of our community, and we appreciate you for being a NextGenner.